trimming old ladies' bushes for her.
Oh yeah.
Should I put ads online to beat the pussy up?
I mean, there's there's a website for young ladies to get dirty old men to support them financially. So I feel like if you really did your due diligence and research, you could probably find, especially in Florida,
Yeah, I'm all
some
set.
wealthy old ladies that want to get broke off. Well, if you're single and in the same boat as I'm in, I'd like to give you a ride.
What a pathetic loser.
Yeah,
At
that
the
dude wears
BMV
fucking Nike
too?
Monarchs.
What's that?
That dude wears Nike Monarchs for sure.
Oh. Hey, don't cut up on the Nike Monarchs, bro. Us
They
dads,
gotta be they gotta be grass stained or you're just fucking
right.
pretending.
Yep, that's the thing is when the Monarchs get the grass stains and they, I mean, whatever, they get a bunch of dog shit on the bottom of them. I mean, you really got to dad those shoes up and then they're real sweet. Yeah, and the Osmar Mahia voice in my head telling me, don't be a pussy, just cut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Venezuelan ex-Contra that I used to work with in Chicago. He was a
Yeah.
tree guy. Yeah, this dude had pictures of him like with gigantic machine guns. He was in
I remember you telling me about this dude.
yeah, he was like in Bolivia or El Salvador in the 80s.
Yeah, I feel like you do some wild shit down there around that time.
Oh yeah, his story, he told me that he was on a bus as a teenager and he got
Yeah.
pulled off the bus and put into some sort of, military group. And when you're that young, I mean, you don't know what side is just pulling you off of a bus, whether it's the standing government or, you know, like the
Yeah, because
Northern Alliance.
everybody's equally fucked up, the government and the guerrillas.
Right. Yeah, he was telling me some crazy ass stories. So big shouts out
S-
to BAMFGOD.
Speaking of young man stories, you had something you wanted to tell me about.
Yeah, I forgot about this until last night. And I found myself as I was falling asleep, just laughing about it. So here's what I did in seventh grade. So I went to public schools up until sixth grade. My mom didn't want me going to the junior high that was going to be super bad. She didn't want me going to Hillman. So she sent
Yeah.
me to St. Luke's. So I decided to establish dominance coming in as a brand new seventh grader over the eighth grade class by when we were walking into church. I stopped. I turned to the side, faced the eighth grade class who was already in their pews, and I threw up the diamond cutter. Bang! And I scream out loud, bang!
Hit him with the diamond cutter.
The diamond cutter from Diamond Dallas Page. I mean, I did that as, a young man in a new
in
school,
church.
in church, to an entire class, which I had to go apologize for then.
To the whole class.
Yeah, the following week they brought me in front of the class, and yeah, I had to apologize to them, and I don't know, I've just been doing wild shit.
You should have RKO'd the teacher after that. Like,
RK.
I just want to apologize for absolutely fucking nothing and RKO the teacher. That was so good, those fights. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega.
Yeah.
Did you get to watch that?
Yeah, I was able to stay up and watch everything. And I remember thinking at the beginning of the fifth round, like how Volkanovski didn't look like he had, really any damage to him. And
Yeah.
Ortega was just looking like a walking zombie. Didn't they almost stop that fight 2 or 3 times because of Ortega's vision?
Yeah, they tried to stop the fight because of Ortega's vision. And then, like, Ortega was clearly losing a decision, but there was 2 times, I think, in the 4th round, he cinched up.
Yep.
He cinched up quite possibly the tightest mounted guillotine. And I was like, just in fucking awe that this is the way this fight's going. And I was like, oh my God, there's no way that this doesn't get finished.
All right.
And then Volkanovski, like a complete fucking savage, manages to get out of that.
Yeah.
And then not only get out of that, but then immediately start beating the absolute shit out of Brian Ortega.
He got saved by the bell in that round. And then he came back out, whether it was in the 4th or the 5th, and he pretty quickly got Volkanovski on the ground, and he had him locked up, and Volkanovski gives the thumbs up to his corner. Don't worry, guys, I'm good.
And then he had him in a triangle that was super deep.
Yeah,
super deep. And I was just like, holy shit, like he missed his opportunity. Now he got another one, and he's definitely gonna finish this.
Right, because they had just come out of the. I told my kid to shut up.
Out of it again during the fight.
Yeah, because he and I were talking, and we were doing something. He was like maybe playing, on his Switch or something. I was watching him play Minecraft, and when Ortega jumped up on Volkanovski's neck, so the first, the guillotine, the mounted, or would you say the
mounted guillotine?
Mounted guillotine, like that happened so quick that like Ortega was just controlling the fight. And out of nowhere, that happened. So I was thinking, 99% of this fight was dominated by
Volkanovski.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, I thought that he was going to get that. But I don't know. I just feel like he was too tired from that entire round.
That was. And I think any other person in the world would have tapped to that.
Yeah, that was. The way they were rolling too, you could tell that they were both such high level grapplers that Ortega got him in that mount and took him down to the ground. But I mean, they rolled around before Volkanovski got on top and started pounding him with like downward. It wasn't even, what do they call that? A hammer fist?
Hammer fist.
He was literally hammer fisting him in the face and the head. And he got saved by the bell. That was an incredible fight.
Volkanovski's got a phenomenal jiu-jitsu coach, and my cousin Craig Jones.
Your cousin?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lying about that, but his last name's Jones, and he's really good at something. So
okay.
I'm gonna fucking hold on to that.
Yeah, claim him. But isn't that Australia? How are you gonna be cousins with somebody in Australia?
It's 2021.
The internet.
Yeah.
Hooker fights with Volkanovski, you told me last week, and actually that is where I picked up, because I told you guys I wasn't able to hop on the broadcast until a little bit later, and when I did pick it up, maybe around 10 o'clock, that was the first fight that was on, and I got to see the whole thing.
Hooker fight, it was a good fight.
Oh yeah, and what was the guy's name? Hackparast, and that was the guy I was cutting up on for being a terrorist. He didn't look nothing like a terrorist.
No, I mean, he's from Germany, so.
Yeah, I had a completely different vision of that dude in my head when you said his name.
Yeah, and then let's see who else. Valentina Shevchenko did Valentina Shevchenko things.
I need to recant something I said last week on that front. I went back and listened to the podcast. I mean, I do every week just to see whatever. And I was listening to myself talking shit about Lauren Murphy. Was her name? I mean, that girl would kill me under any circumstances. And I'm not recanting.
She'd murder you with her bare hands.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a piece of shit for even, implying that. I mean, all of these fighters, they're tremendously talented. I am a piece of shit here just talking on a microphone. And, I was a little disappointed in myself with just talking shit last week. I do that.
You know what though? It's weird. Like fighting, like MMA is, and somewhat in boxing seems to be like the only nature of the sport, like the sports where like you could be like critical of but then people are like, well, he beat shit out of you. Well,
Mhm.
I hope so. Like I fucking hope that Lauren Murphy would beat shit out of you, because like you fucking cut down trees. You don't fight for a living,
Mhm.
right?
No.
So like, but like people will be critical of like LeBron James, and then people are like, "Oh man, you're right," or they're like, "Well, no, not really, because fucking Michael Jordan made Space Jam, and that was a way better movie." But like nobody ever says, LeBron James's Space Jam sucked, and then they're like, "Yeah, but he'd fucking dunk on you and drag his big ass dick across your forehead." Like nobody ever says that. I never understood that. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know. But I do know this though. I was thinking about the UFC recently as compared to like other sports. It's so
Yeah.
satisfying being a UFC fan. So like in the other sports, you can't really, you could be mad at LeBron James that he like lost that championship in the final seconds by not hitting the shot or whatever. But
Yeah.
with UFC, I mean, at least the person who, fucked you over is got the dog shit beaten out of them,
Right. Yeah, it's
right?
very satisfying.
Yeah, where even like, and I'd imagine for bettors specifically, people betting on these things, and they got a lot riding on it. That at least when somebody loses in the UFC, they got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
I don't know why they still. I don't say that like, oh, well, that NFL player would tackle you,
Yeah, right. Like
or
you'd be like, OJ wasn't the greatest running back of all time. You're like, yeah, but he'll fucking cut your head off.
yeah, but he'll juke you out of your shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I get. Did he cut that bitch's head off?
That's the word on the streets. I thought that was the thing, that
Oh
he
shit.
like damn near cut her head off. When
Wow.
he
Hey,
well, he says if he had done it, or whatever, that stupid fucking book that he wrote.
yeah, yeah. Didn't he, hasn't he done that like a bunch of times in public where he's like flaunted getting away with it?
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. He's living in South Florida, I think. He's in Naples right now, maybe.
And he apparently has like one of the most hilarious Twitters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'm happy he's making a little comeback. I was out in Vegas with Adam Pichitino, when it was like a few weeks after the OJ stuff happened with like the merchandise. There was
Yeah.
like memorabilia that he wanted to get back, and that was
Yeah.
actually what he went to jail for all those years for, not the
Yeah.
murder.
What a wild fucking country. Get away with murder, go to jail for stealing your own shit.
Uh-huh.
Wild.
Yeah, I think we went to the hotel where that happened at, like a few weeks after. It doesn't matter. Kyle Metzger or Kurt Metzger and Kyle Dunnigan are on Kill Tony tonight,
Yeah.
and they have a hilarious Instagram page. It's Kyle Dunnigan's page. You just search him out, Kyle Dunnigan, and what he does is these face swap videos,
Oh
where
yeah.
you
I've
can,
seen him.
yeah, and I mean he does them all from Caitlyn Jenner's his famous one. He does Trump. He does, but yeah, those guys are gonna be on the Kill Tony tonight, so I'm pretty jacked about that.
We glossed over
What?
Nick Diaz versus Robbie Lawler too,
Oh shit, I'm an idiot. Yeah,
right?
why did I just move on from that? How did you feel about that?
Um, I thought it was a lot more competitive than I kind of expected it to be. I don't know, like, well, I guess because like Robbie Lawler's a fucking psychopath.
Okay.
Um, but Nick Diaz was also one of those dudes where it's like those two guys, I feel like were a couple of the guys that were in the UFC where if you were like, okay, but like you guys are gonna fight till one of you is dead, and they'd be like, cool, man, like I'm down. Like those are those type of guys, right? But Robbie Lawler has been fighting where Nick Diaz hasn't fought in 7 years. So I was like legit like nervous, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. I mean,
Nick and Nick Diaz is one of my favorite fighters of all time. So like
Well,
I
that's
didn't want it to be like Chuck Liddell, coming out of retirement to fight fucking Tito Ortiz.
yeah, where he would get fucked up, which he didn't. It was very competitive. I remember thinking through the first like maybe round of that, watching, just noticing that it did look like Lawler had more pep in his step. He was quicker, and he was just, I don't know. I thought Nick was super focused coming to the ring. I mean, he was trying to get in there before they were even like rubbing the gel on his eyes, and I don't know. In my opinion, he came out looking rusty, and before I considered what you had mentioned in the group chat, which was that there might have been an injury to him. I was really disappointed with how it ended. Like, thought like, no, man, for a legend like that, he can't go out like this.
Yeah, where he just kind of said, fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, but then, I mean, if you think about maybe there was an injury, I don't know if any news has come out. It's Monday evening now, so a couple days after the fight. But I don't see him fighting again. You think Nick Diaz is going to take another fight after this?
Probably not. I mean,
just coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his, Nick Diaz Academy.
Does he?
Yeah,
I didn't know about that.
One of his fighters was actually on the early prelims.
Okay.
I can go back and get his name. He had like a super Russian name. He had Nick Maximov.
Ooh.
He's 7-0. He won a decision against Cody Brundage. He looked like a newer fighter, like in that fight, but he looked like he had really good wrestling. He looked like he could potentially someday, be somebody to make some noise.
What weight class was that?
Middleweight, 185. Okay. Oh, right before that though, Matthew Semmelsberger. He was a college football player, free safety, I think. He has, I think they said it was him and Anthony Rumble Johnson were the only two UFC fighters in history to have like multiple knockouts in like under 30 seconds.
Oh,
or some shit. Yeah, he had knocked this dude out in 15 seconds on Saturday. And in March, he knocked the dude out in 16 seconds, which is pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy just comes out, drops him, goes home and has a sandwich.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's somebody to keep on the radar. What did you say about Nick Diaz wanting the fight moved up a weight class? I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah. That fight was supposed to be at 170. And then I guess like the week of the fight, he said, hey, let's do 185.
Another indication of a possible injury.
Well, yeah. And he's, I mean, Nick Diaz runs Ironman triathlons for fun.
Yeah.
So for him to like not look like he's in shape is, odd.
Yeah, that's
and he's fought at 185 before, but by choice or to go after somebody. But for him to, the week of the fight say, we're going to do 185, and then the way the fight ended, I thought maybe he had an injury.
Do you think they would let any other person, like any other, that was probably a treat or like a special privilege or, preferential treatment to let Diaz do that on fight week? Like how many days before the fight did he ask to do this? I mean, obviously before the weigh-ins.
Yeah. I mean, because they weigh in the day before. And I would imagine, I don't know, anything, as long as, Lawler agrees to it, they could change the fight contract.
And that just means they don't have to cut weight.
Right. But if you miss weight, then you give up, 20% of your purse or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And, but I guess I'm assuming that he didn't have to do that because they agreed on it.
Well, at least the Diaz brothers are getting the best of Dana White now. This was their whole gripe early in their careers, that they weren't being paid for their efforts. So they went out, made some names for themselves, and now are two of the biggest names in the sport. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, we might see Nick again if the money's right.
Yeah. And we
But he
might
looked
see
like
him
a
beat.
dad.
He might box Jake Paul. I mean, you never fucking know.
Oh, hell yeah. That would be sweet. I would like that.
I would love that
Yeah.
because I feel like you couldn't pay those dudes to take a dive.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll ever see Nate fight again?
Oh yeah.
Or doesn't he have something coming up? No, it was Poirier or what? What's the guy's name? Ortiz? Who's Poirier fighting? I don't know. Cowboy something.
Charles Cowboy Oliveira.
I knew it began with
it's not. It's not the Cowboy. It's Do Bronx, right?
I'm not sure.
See, this is the thing. Cowboy Oliveira. Charles. Yeah, Charles Oliveira. He has. Yeah, it's like a weird, a different. I don't want to say weird because it probably makes sense to him, and he beat the shit out of me. So, but yeah, Poirier, Charles Oliveira,
nice.
Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz shuts down. This is the first headline when I tried to look and see if Nate Diaz had a fight lineup. Nate Diaz shuts down Conor McGregor's latest attempt to stay relevant. Quotations: "Remember your leg?" But Bazinga, yeah, stupid ass.
Conor has really not been painting himself in a good light since he hurt his leg. He's been like just talking shit online. Like the first few days after the fight, he was like taking videos of himself rolling around in a wheelchair like he was out for a stroll on the street, but he's talking shit. It's like, dude, you're in the wheelchair right now. You just lost a fight. And he was on online, clearly high on pills.
Like you've got no ground game. Like somebody could just come knock your fucking wheelchair over. Yeah. And then what?
Yeah, bitch. Vaughn said, the thing is with those two, I guess what's going on, I saw Vaughn's video today, and he's talking about who's the daddy and who's the stepdaddy. I think that's the major beef between them, is like one of them is saying that, no, I'm the daddy and you're the stepdaddy or something like that. I'm not sure.
So it's like not real beef.
The Vaughn video I watched today made it seem like it was supposed to be kind of funny, but he was showing clips of Delia's like original clapback, and that looked pretty serious. It looked like Chris was serious about, no, I'm the daddy.
I'm gonna have to check this out.
What the?
Because I do like Theo Vaughn and Chris D'Elia both.
Yes.
Theo Vaughn was actually just recently a guest on the Jocko podcast, which was pretty surprising.
Yeah. Well, isn't Theo Vaughn, is he ex-military?
No.
Oh, yeah. I listened to probably listened to like the first half hour of that. I got tied up in something at work. But the piece of information I took away from that was that Jocko Willink ate a hamburger for every meal as a child. He said his mom was so poor and they got hamburgers, cheap beef patties or something somewhere. I don't know. He just said every meal he would get a hamburger.
Could you imagine? Like, no wonder he turned into the that he is. Could you imagine a breakfast hamburger? So the one book is called Mikey and the Dragons, and I bought that for my nephew when he was born.
Okay.
And it's his kids book that's really targeted at younger kids because it's written in like the traditional like kids book, everything rhymes, and whatnot. And I was reading like reviews, and like of course then in like reviews there's blog posts from like complete fucking dorks about how toxically masculine these kids books are, and it's gonna ruin children, and like
disparaging Jocko. You can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's physically like not possible. These people, him, that whole team, all those guys are like to be looked up to. And
Yeah. But I
yeah,
mean, I would imagine that if he did like see that and see like some, complete soy boy, talking about how terrible it is that he's, trying to in the book, Uncle Jake is coaching young Mark, his nephew,
mhm.
to, be a leader and whatnot, and see this, some, art history underwater basket weaving major that's blogging on, whatever,
From a university .edu email.
yeah, Jocko would read that and just good.
There's a
Uh,
for all the listeners, we upload kind of little chop ups of the episode each week onto YouTube/Dead Mothers Club Podcast.
you're welcome for that.
Like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell, the notification. Uh, smash. I have to tell people to smash a like button.
Smash the like button,
Yep.
or ask it what it wants to. You could do that. Don't be so fucking pushy.